Number 76 is The Usual Suspects. The thing that I like about The Usual Suspects is it requires multiple viewings because, yeah, it's just extremely complex. But once you're able to figure it all out, there's really no, it just feels so good to figure everything out and be able really, to really get it. Number 75 is LA Confidential. LA Confidential, it's pretty complex like The Usual Suspects, but it's a lot more flamboyant. There's more. It has a better look to it. I guess that's ultimately what made me choose. Put LA Confidential above The Usual Suspects. Number 74, Fight Club. Fight Club is, it's not really a complex film, but it is one of those films where once you understand it, you feel so rewarded. And even before that, it's just very fun and gritty and extremely entertaining. I highly recommend that. If you haven't seen Fight Club yet, buy it. Number 73 is American Beauty. I know that there's all this Kevin Spacey backlash. I don't like the guy either anymore. But he's just so good in this. And this movie is just, it's a one-of-a-kind film. And I hope that people are able to put all their gripes aside and just sit back and enjoy a really good film. Number 72 is Goodfellas. Goodfellas, I agree with just about everything that people say about it. Here's what I don't agree with. I don't agree that it's better than the Godfather films. I agree that's better than Godfather 3, of course. But yeah, I don't think it's better than the Godfather films. I don't think Ray Liotta is totally amazing. He's good. He's good. Don't get me wrong. But he's not totally amazing like Pacino and Brando were in the Godfather films. And I cannot stand when people say that this losing to Dances with Wolves is one of the worst things to ever happen at the Oscars. Dances with Wolves is way too amazing of a film for it to be considered a real travesty. Call Goodfellas better if you want to. I don't care. But please don't say that that Dances with Wolves and Win Over It is one of the worst ever. It simply is. I've seen both films numerous times. Dances with Wolves, much too rated film. But anyway, back to the list. Number 72, Goodfellas. Number 71, one of the most heartfelt comedies ever, Back to the Future. I could watch this film all day and it never get old. It also has my favorite scene in a film, in any film. Johnny Be Good, done by Michael J. Fox, even though it's not really him singing, it's still a really great scene. Great film. Back to the Future. Number 70 is a little bit of a cheat. I'm going with the first 3 Toy Story movies. I'm not going with Toy Story 4 because I don't think that Toy Story 4 is really at the level of the first 3. It is a good movie, but the first 3 were just so freakishly overwhelming, and the 4th one simply wasn't. So I'm gonna just go with the first 3, put all the first 3 together, and place it all in the number 70 spot. Number 69, The Fugitive. Andrew Davis is not that good of a director. He did Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal, but those weren't really like amazing films. But this definitely is. It's based on a TV show, I know, but there's really no beating this particular 1993 version. It did have a spin-off a few years later called U.S. Marshals with a Tommy Lee Jones character. I really did enjoy that one too, but it's not quite as good as The Fugitive. The Fugitive definitely deserved my number 69 spot. Number 68 is Stand By Me. My dad always likes to say that he introduced me to Back to the Future and Stand By Me. Well, thank you, Dad, for showing me 2 great films, Back to the Future and Stand By Me. And yeah, I like Stand By Me a little bit more, but I love both films. Either way, they're both magnificent films. Number 67, The Shining. A definite contender for one of the best horror films ever. A definite contender for one of Stanley Kubrick's. A definite contender for everyone's best that was involved in the film. I know that Stephen King didn't like it, but we all did. That's all that matters. We're all really satisfied. Yeah, number 67. I mean, The Shining. Number 66, Rear Window. So you're going to see more Hitchcock films on here. Yeah, Rear Window is. I never thought that a movie could be so good when it takes place in just one room the whole time, and you get a sense of claustrophobia, but it's also extremely thrilling. And yeah, it's just a totally amazing piece of work from Alfred Hitchcock. I totally love Rear Window. It's a great film. Number 65 is Sophie's Choice. Meryl Streep is my favorite actress, and this is my favorite performance by a woman in film history. It also stars Kevin Kline and Peter MacNicol as the two other characters, but it's really Meryl Streep that is the star of the show. It centers on her performance and her character, and it's one of the most overwhelming films I've ever seen. I'm always satisfied with how I feel. Like, yeah, it's a really sad film, but I'm just so impressed every time that I see it. Number 64 is The Exorcist. The Exorcist is probably the scariest movie I've ever seen. And yeah, because it gets that level of terror up so high, it's got to make the top 100. And because it is such a good film, it's this high up, number 64, The Exorcist. Number 63 is The Right Stuff. It's a real space film, not like Star Wars, but yeah, the whole idea of rocket ships and all that kind of stuff. It does seem like it could go either way, like be a little too heavy with the computer effects and not a whole lot with the people stuff. But it's actually just the opposite. You have so much stuff of the people and just enough of the computer. You know, it was 1983, of course, but you got enough of the special effects but more of the humane stuff that really give it its greatness. So The Right Stuff, number 63. Number 62, Dumb and Dumber. I have a real deep and personal connection with this film. Like when I would watch it, like way back when, personal memories connected to it. So yeah, I gotta place this high up. Number 61, The Apartment. The Apartment is Billy Wilder, Jack Lemmon, and it is totally amazing. I love the storyline to this. It's totally awesome. But yeah, everything that this movie has, I totally love it. Number 60, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. Robert Altman is one of my favorite directors, and this isn't really his most energetic film. He's done a lot of calm, slower films, and McCabe and Mrs. Miller is his best of those, and it's my personal favorite film of his. I think that his different take on the whole Western genre was very well done, and it always gets me. It always just sweeps me in it, and I always feel just so much for it by the time it finishes. Number 59 is my favorite animated film of all time, Beauty and the Beast, from 1991. Anyone that truly knows me knows for a fact that Beauty and the Beast from 1991 is my favorite animated film of all time, bar none. So, yeah, let's move ahead. Number 58 is The Best Years of Our Lives. If there ever was a post-war movie, like when people get back home from war, that, which one of those is the best one? Easily Best Years of Our Lives, no doubt about it. They don't actually show the pre-war or the regular war stuff. They did that in The Deer Hunter, but the way that The Best Years of Our Lives is played out, absolutely brilliant. I love this film. Number 57 is King Kong, from 2005, that is. That's right, I thought that King Kong from 2005 beat out the King Kong from 1930s. It's almost as good as almost as good as the Lord of the Rings films, but not quite as good as you can tell from where it's positioned on the list. And yeah, King Kong 2005, brilliant film. Go see it. Number 56, Saving Private Ryan. Now, Saving Private Ryan is probably the scariest war film I've ever seen. That and Come and See. But Saving Private Ryan takes place mostly like on the battlefield itself, like no man's land and everything. And you can't beat those battle scenes that Steven Spielberg directed. They're just totally amazing things. Number 55 is its twin film, The Thin Red Line, Terrence Malick's movie from 1998. Sorry, and I do like this one a tiny bit more than Saving Private Ryan. Both are horrifying war films. Now, although Saving Private Ryan does have the more gritty feel to it, I thought that The Thin Red Line was a deeper film. So the depth of it all really made up for what Terrence Malick wasn't quite able to duplicate in terms of Steven Spielberg's battle scenes. That's why I like Thin Red Line a little bit more. Number 54 is the first two Lord of the Rings films. Why not all three of them? Plain and simple, I love the third one that much more than these. You're going to see Lord of the Rings Return of the King that much higher up on the list. Number 53 is the first two Terminator films. Let's be honest, does anybody even really care about all the Terminator films that happened after number 2 back in 1991? No, I don't think so. Let's just keep it at the first two Terminator films at number 53. And number 52, the first two Alien films. I'll be honest, I do like Alien 3. I think it's a pretty underrated film. But yeah, it's not up to par. It's not as good as the first two. And yeah, let's just leave it at the first two Alien films also. Number 51, the first four Die Hard films. I totally hate A Good Day to Die Hard. I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But I love Die Hard 1 from 1988 to Live Free or Die Hard in 2007. Love all four of those. Number 50 is Casino. Yes, I love Casino that much more than Goodfellas. And I'm a firm believer that if the release dates were reversed, like if Casino came out first and then Goodfellas, that would be Casino getting all the glory and all the recognition, and Goodfellas would be considered the footnote, I guess you could say. Yeah, number 50 is Casino.